they had a subsection that you could go operatic route or you could do musical theater. And so I was like, oh, I'll go the musical theater route. And then they canceled that major halfway through my time there.
Wow.
And so everybody else switched out of it, but I demanded that I get my degree. So they honored it. And so now I'm the only person to ever get that degree before it was canceled. So,
Wow.
right? Put that on my business card. Very important.
Stubborn pays off.
It can. All right. Well, just got some songs to do. I just started doing them. Yeah.
I think that's why you're up there.
Oh, is that what I'm doing here? All right. This one is a 1958 song. You may recognize it. Mr. Michael Bublé did a cover of it. Well, you can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye. Let him hold you tight. You can smile every smile for the man who held your hand beneath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. Oh, darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun, laugh and sing. But while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. And don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never ever let you go. I love you all so much. And you can dance, go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks if you're all alone, can he walk you home? You must tell him no. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. Oh, darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never ever let you go. I love you all so much. Oh, you can dance, go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks if you're all alone, can he walk you home? You must tell him no. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. Oh, darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, darling, save the last dance for me. Thank you. So did anybody recognize it? You heard that? I saw Gretchen totally
I
mouthing
didn't.
on.
Did you say Michael
You've never heard that?
Bublé?
Yeah, Michael Bublé totally covered it. I mean,
Wow.
he's not the one who wrote it, but you know, we'll forgive him this time.
What's the history behind your ukulele?
This one?
Yeah,
His
this
name is Sweet Pea.
This is Sweet Pea. It's my very first ukulele I ever had.
That
Huh.
one's the same brand as mine.
Totally, is it a
looks-
Mitchell?
Yeah, it looks a lot like it, except for like, the main color is black.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's super pretty. I like the little
Beautiful.
inlay.
Yeah, I
Kind of
get that.
nice. Yeah. So, I've played piano my whole life. I really like playing piano and accompanying myself. And the last gig I did with my keyboard, it was a wedding, and it was in this beautiful historic place that had no elevator, but I had to take my piano up 2 flights of stairs. And I was like, I need a lighter instrument.
Need a lighter
So,
instrument, right?
right, so this one, oh man, just it like goes across. I can wear it on my back. I'm like, I can handle anything. So I definitely I'd always thought the ukulele was cute. I did not know how to play it. I did not know how to play guitar. Like there was no precursor to this kind of instrument, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to just try something that seemed accessible. And I was gonna get one online, and my husband stopped me and said, no, you want to like play them, sit down and play them and try it out. So that's what I did. September, towards the end of September, I'll be playing it for about 2 years. So yeah, just, I mean, started the same as Jay, where he's just like, I started where I knew literally 2 chords and was like, how many songs on the internet can I find with 2 chords? Like, and then at a certain point, I was like, I'll just write songs that are only these 2 chords. No wrong answers, right? So that was kind of an interesting way to do it. But it's a very accessible instrument. I highly recommend it to anybody. Anybody who's like, I want to try something totally different. Like the ukulele is very easy to play. Like I was saying, like you just push one thing, it's already a chord. So it's already ready. Like it's almost like it wants to be your friend.
How much was it? How much was
I
that?
think I got this one for $100.
That's how much I got.
Yeah. I mean,
Are there hard chords?
there are E is a real nightmare. I mean, my hand, like there's nothing natural about that. Yeah, so I don't play anything in E. Not yet. We'll give it time. The nice thing is, you know, with all the musical training and background, I can transpose things into any key I want. So I'm like, which one is the easiest one? Good, we're doing that one. And most of the time, you know, from there you can branch out. So when I started, everything was in the key of C because that's the easiest one to play.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, I can play B flat now. So that means I can do things in F. That's exciting. So you just basically go with what you know first, and then keep working, because there's lots of work to be done with strumming. Very different
Keep
than
working your way up.
working my way up. That's the plan. That is the idea. Yes. You're a smart kid. You know that. I'm gonna need to get your internet information now that I'm seeing this, because I have some charts that won't open. Yeah. I totally forgot to make them offline. Whoops. All right. Well, you might know this one, Jay. I'm gonna be pretty excited. I mean, I'm actually gonna be like not excited. I'm gonna be shocked if you don't know this one. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. You know you love me. I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You are my love, you are my heart, and we will never ever be apart. Are we an item? Girl, we're playing. Are we just friends? What are you saying? Say there's another in the look right in my eyes. My first love broke my heart for the very first time, and I'm not baby, oh, like a baby, no, like a baby, oh, thought you would always be mine. I'm like baby, oh, like baby, no, like a baby, oh, thought you would always be mine. Oh, for you I'd have done whatever. I just can't believe we ain't together. I wanna play it through, but I'm losing you. I'll buy you anything, I'll buy you any ring, and I'm in pieces. Baby, fix me, and just shake it till you wake me from this bad dream. I'm going down, and I can't believe my lover won't be around. I'm like baby, oh, like baby, no, like baby, oh, I thought you would always. Baby, no lie, baby. I'm not a Bieber follower. The Bieber fever. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Did you have a crush on Justin?
What was that?
Did you have a crush on Justin?
I was
After your time?
that was actually I'm too old for that to have happened. Yeah, when he came out I was like, children. I don't like that pop nonsense. Yeah, I was like right in the thick of college snobbery about music. So I was like, well, what does he know? And now I'm all like, pop songs. And I work at a children's hospital, so
Wonderful.
so I do a lot of songs that appeal to the children. And whenever they ask for Justin Bieber, it's like 2 songs to choose from because everything else is wildly inappropriate. I'm sorry, children, I can't sing that one on the air. There are rules. If it were my stream, absolutely no wrong answers there. But and then noodling. So yeah, I have a large background as well in jazz music. Primarily where I kind of started when I started doing gigs, like legit going out and performing for people. I already knew a lot of jazz music, so I was like, oh, that seems like a good thing. So I'd get together with a piano player and I would sing all sorts of gigs, and it was very cool. And then when I started playing the ukulele, something about it sparked a little bravery thing that I didn't quite have, but just learning to scat sing a little better. Like I had improvised a fair amount, but I was always a little nervous about doing it in front of people because sometimes you just completely biff it, and that happens because I don't typically plan out my scats. I try to think, I know what chord this is going to, but I started really pushing myself pretty much right alongside when I got Sweet Pea. I just immediately was like, I need to learn how to scat sing like way better. And I call it noodling. Mainly I like the visual of like a big handful of spaghetti, just plop it down. I'm going to follow one of those noodles around and see where it takes me. So I think like that because I'm silly, but I love to do it. So sometimes I go off on a little tangent. I try to, make sure I come back to the point. It's like when you start talking and you go off on a tangent. Same thing. It's the same thing. It's a noodle. All
I
right.
have really tried to remember a scat singer, but I can't. She's probably dead now. She was in a nursing home.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Something like McCarthy, or was her last name?
Sure.
I can't. Does that ring a bell?
I mean, it does, but
couldn't think of her name.
all I think about is Ella Fitzgerald when I think about
Yeah,
scatting. I'm like, oh, she's the queen.
Yes.
It's not worthy, yeah. But that was a test actually in the jazz choir at my college. It was a requirement to have at least, I think she said like 30 seconds. Try to get 30 seconds of a scat solo, listen to somebody else's, and then replicate it for class.
Wow.
And we had like something absurd, like 2 months to practice to figure out what we wanted to do. And I was like, 2 months? That's a long time. I'm gonna like, and so I bit off so much. I was like, I'm gonna learn the entire 3.5 minute scat solo that Ella Fitzgerald does in Blue Skies. And I still know it because it took that much repetition to learn it that now I'm like, I can't unlearn. It's still in there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is ironic because I don't cover Blue Skies. Maybe I should get on that, right?
Maybe you should.
Play somewhere over the rainbow.
Oh, we'll get there for sure.
I can play that on the
Good song.
piano.
You can play that on the piano now? Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Well, I've been made.
She's- She's famous for Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
It's true. I've done a lot of Judy
Yeah.
Garland tributes.
I've
And
heard
even
how many of them?
I did 2 separate Judy Garland tributes, like staged performances. And then every now and then I'll do a gig and they'll say, we just want one really powerful song. And I'm like, how about Over the Rainbow? And then it usually is a perfect fit. Because if you want to make an audience cry, that's kind of right there. All right. But I will do another. This is a jazzier tune. I love this one. It's one that I guess the Andrews sisters did. But it's one that I had heard Judy Garland do. And so I hear that version in my head. But I don't know. Maybe I'll noodle a couple of her voicings in there. Of all the boys I've known and I've known some, until I first met you I was lonesome. But then you came inside, dear, my heart grew light, and this old world's into me. You're really swell, I have to admit. You deserve expressions that really fit you. Until I racked my brain hoping to explain all the things that you do to me. My nip is too shame. Please let me but I love singing in that style. It's so great. It's old style, like crazy fast vibrato. Yeah, she's iconic for that. So
I
yeah,
started singing like one of the Andrews sisters.
totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, to me, that's like part of the, I don't know, like the joy I get from making music. And, everybody's kind of got to find their own style. When I teach lessons, that's a big part of it, is helping a student to understand, like, you are your own instrument and it's going to sound different than anyone else on the planet. But, a lot of what I've learned through mimicking, so mimicking Judy Garland to do a tribute, or mimicking Ella Fitzgerald to try and, do her scat. Those kinds of things, they really did kind of contribute to what, to this kind of mishmashing of styles I've ended up landing on, where I there are no rules. I just start tapping into different voices that I like to do. Obviously mix in my own, which for a while I wasn't sure what it sounded like. I was like, I sound like everybody else. I don't know. But yeah, the more I play the ukulele, the more kind of bold I've gotten with just taking chances and trying new things. So yeah. So yay, Bye Nervous Duchesne. It's always a good one, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Let's see. I want to do this next one. It is how do I explain? It's a lot. It's a marathon. I'm having issues with connection, which is kind of, I guess I didn't really
Do you
think
need the
about that.
password? The Wi-Fi password?
Well, how about this? I'll get through what I have, and if
Okay.
we feel like we need more or we want more stuff, then I'll get the Wi-Fi to do that. I'm pretty sure the Andrews Sisters did a cover of this too. Who didn't do a cover of this song? I mean, the first time I heard it was actually that I can remember very fondly is from Back to the Future.
Oh.
Pretty sure it was in the very first one, because they go back to the 50s, right? And when he walks into the town square and it's like the 1950s, this song plays, and I already love it.
I might know this.
You might.
know this one.
You might know it.
It might have something to do with Mr. Sandman. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Mr. Sandman, bring me a drink, make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him tulips like roses and clover, and tell him that his hopes and nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone, ain't got nobody to call my own. So please turn on your magic wheel, Mr. Sandman, bring me a drink. Making the cutest hunk of man meat that I've ever seen. Tell him the word that I'm not a rover, and tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone, ain't got nobody to call my own. So please turn on your magic beam, and Mr. Sandman, bring me a drink.
So does she surprise you sometimes with some of the sounds she comes out with, or are you used to that?
Not anymore, I don't think.
I don't think it surprises me anymore.
I mean, my styles over the years have changed as frequently as my hair at this point.
Almost as frequently.
Almost. To be fair,
The hair is a little bit more.
that was a more recent thing. It's just like at one point it dawned on me that I held it in my head. Somebody was like, oh, you probably don't want to dye your hair crazy colors because it might be harder to find a job. And then I was like, find what job? I'm an artist. What are you talking about? If anything, they're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just go with it. But that's true. Yeah, it was only like 2-3 years ago that I
They
was
must
like,
love it at the children's hospital, though, that you come in with different colored hair all the
True.
time. And
yeah, that's very true. I mean, they've been very supportive.
yeah.
I think Scott, the producer, has only ever said, please don't do green because we use a green screen. So I put the green in the back. I'll hide it. He didn't complain, so hopefully it was okay.
I like it.
Well, thanks. Yeah. It was a lot of like, I'm gonna dye my hair this color. I'm gonna dye my hair this color. Well, now I have a rainbow amount of tubes. Everybody.
Not to me.
I know.
I don't think that's gonna work.
So what kind of children do you work with?
So at the Children's Hospital, they have a studio, and it's called Star Studio, and you can the kids can go in there, and they live broadcast the shows to every room in both St. Paul and Minneapolis. So they have their own channel, and they do different content. There's bingo games and or shows that so kids can play along in their room and call in if they get bingo and win prizes. I mean, it's incredible. But they started this thing called the Star Studio Sing Along right when I started, like right before I started volunteering. I was like, I just want to sing for the kids. What can I do? And so I did a few shows, and after a while, they offered to pay me. They offered to make it like a job. So every Wednesday for over a year now, I've been going in, and kids will either send in requests, or they can call during the show, or they can come visit the actual studio and sit and watch. And it's awesome. Sometimes kids are bold and they'll come up and join me, and it's unbelievable. Some of them are like, "Oh, I love this," and then once the cameras go on, they're like, "Yeah." So it's very fun. It's a really cool mixture. But yeah, it's been an overwhelmingly positive experience. I'm totally mystified that it became like a regular thing, but I'm honored because it's very rewarding. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, hi. Hi, welcome. Hi. Nice to see you. It's nice to see you too. Well, don't be a stranger. Come on in. Let's see here.
Chairs, I'll move over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess there's another one. It's small.
Oh, it's okay. This one's good.
No.
It looks small,
Is the
right?
vantage
The minute you
point
sit in it,
just
you're like,
as
it's all
good
right.
for you?
You can be all right. Okay.
Actually take the little one because I have short legs. I would prefer.
You would prefer- I'm not going to argue.
That was
Probably
just
best.
so kind. So kind.
Well, it was nothing, really. It was nothing.
I don't know if I would call that nothing. Anytime you can see somebody do something kind for another human being, I'm like, it's not always common, so good on you. And you. You offered. It's wonderful. All right, we're gonna do, I didn't even write down the date of this one, but it's not that old. I feel like maybe a decade. My mom asked me to learn this one, I think, and it's the first time I had to play the B flat chord, the dreaded B flat. But thanks to you, I learned B flat, so thanks for that. I asked him to stay, but he wouldn't listen. He left before I had the chance to say, oh, the words that would mend the things that were broken. But now it's far too late, he's gone away. Every night you cry yourself to sleep, thinking, why does this happen to me? Why does every moment have to be so hard? I do believe that it's not over tonight. Just give me one more chance to make it right. I may not make it through the night. I won't go home without you. The taste of his breath I'll never get over, and the noises that he made kept me awake. Oh, the weight of the things that remain unspoken built up so much it crushed us every day. You recognize that one? You heard that one on the radio? Not
No.
one. We're zero
I don't
right
listen
now.
to radio really.
So you like the
We
song?
haven't found a J song yet.
How are we going to be
Let's start with the
friends?
Disney
How is this
theme.
going to happen?
Oh, well, a Disney one. Yeah, Disney one.
That's true. That's one of the ones that wouldn't open. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Of all the songs I didn't make available offline, you'd think that Disney would be like
Yeah.
right up there on the list.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Well, this one comes from a musical. Go figure. I was in this show. It's so funny to think about how long ago that was now. Because I was 15 when I did the Como Pavilion Sound of Music production. I believe I was 15 because I think I got into my first show in high school and was like, bug immediately bit me. It was like, I want to be in every show. And so I auditioned. It was on Como Lake, really beautiful pavilion. They used to do like full out theatrical shows there, which they do not do nowadays. It's unfortunate, but probably a funding thing. Shows tend to be a little expensive, so I get it. But it was so cool. So I got to do this show, and I remember thinking how funny it was that I was playing a nun in a show. I don't know why that sticks with me as being one of the funniest things I've ever, like I was like, this is a stretch. We're going to try. I don't know. My mouth was a little, it flew a lot, and I said a lot of things that I don't think they would let me in. So, no. But it was really fun, and every song from this show I absolutely love. So I'm probably I think I'm planning already to do more than one. But we'll do this one first. Maybe you've heard this one. Maybe. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me, blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow. And grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me, blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever.
Lovely.
Sing along, but we wouldn't have gotten all that other stuff.
I found a noodle. I couldn't help myself. Well, where you go? I tried to keep that one a little simple, you know. Well, maybe not. And I love the Sound of Music. It's a classic, and I am continually amazed with the children that I tend to work with, that they all know it. I mean, that kind of blows my mind too, that it's still a tradition that we keep passing down, like, you should see this. And then they're always aware of what it is, and it's like, how do you know this? I'm so glad you do, though. Let's see. Yeah, that one. All right. Forgive my load times here. This one, I did this one. It was kind of a strange circumstance. I wasn't expecting anything, but I actually did this one with a piano player for a celebration of life. So, you know, a friend of the family had passed, and they were having a celebration for him, and it was just kind of a crazy thing where when the pianist started playing it and I sang it, I was like, I feel like this could be really like a fun, like up-tempo, like, you know, it's newer. David Haas is the man who wrote it. And so it's a newer kind of spiritual, well, no, I think it's religious. I think it's, what is the term? Sacred. So it's a sacred song. But again, kind of thought it'd be fun to take it a sort of different direction traditionally. So we'll see, hopefully you like it this way. I will come to you in the silence. I will lift you from all your fear. You will hear my voice. I claim you as my child. Be still and know I am near. I am hope for all who are hopeless. I am eyes for all who long to see. In the shadows of the night, I will be your light. So come and rest in me, and do not be afraid. I am with you. I have called you each by name. Come and follow me. I will bring you home. I love you and you are mine. I am the word that leads all to freedom. I am the peace the world cannot give. I will call your name, embrace all your pain. Stand up now, walk and live. Hey, 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 do not be afraid. I am with you. I have called you each by name. So come and follow me, and I will bring you home. I love you, yeah, yes I do. So do not be afraid. I am with you. I have called you each by name. Come and follow me. I will bring you home. And I love you and you are mine. Anyone familiar with it? Like, have you heard the original at all? Yeah? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, you.
Have you ever heard this song? Yeah. What? You had nothing to do with the song list. Nothing. Okay, yes, all. Yeah, but I'm glad you picked that because I had, like I said, I kind of did it that way and I was like, oh, I really like it. And I put it on YouTube and was like, cool. And then I just haven't had an excuse to bring it out again. So it's really, I love that. I have finally taken the initiative and written down an entire song list of everything that I can currently do with the ukulele. And, you know, I try to add to it as much as possible. Although not much of it is helpful to my mother because so many right now, I'm kind of on a kick of doing jazzy arrangements of video game covers. So things that I grew up playing, like on the Super Nintendo. So like really old stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to do a cover of that. And so, you know, again, it goes along that whole, there's a theme and no wrong answers. That's kind of how I live life right now. No, it's how I approach music on the ukulele. I find it fun to just there's no reason why you can't play any darn song you like. So, and it is sort of fun to pick songs that I don't hear other people covering. So video games are super popular right now, but not a lot of people cover the older stuff, and if they do, it's like a full, like either orchestrated thing, it's not a singer. So again, trying to fill that strange niche that 4 people think are great. So I'm okay with it. Actually, one of my video game covers I did is the one on YouTube that got like 10,000 views now, which I'm like, hey, not really. But it feels good. It feels good. It's awesome. I'm glad they like it. All right. This song I did piano when I was teaching piano. No, when I was teaching lessons, but I played primarily piano. One of the students came in and said, she's like, I love Miranda Lambert. And I said, I don't know any of her songs. And so she's the one who brought this to my attention. So I definitely shout outs to her for coming up with this great idea to do some covers of Miranda Lambert's, because now I'm definitely a fan. This one is called The House That Built Me. I know they say you can't go home again. I just had to come back one last time. And I know you don't know me from Adam, but these handprints on the front steps are mine. Up those stairs in that little back bedroom is where I did my homework and I learned to play guitar. And I'll bet you didn't know, under that live bulb, my favorite dog is buried in the yard. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. Mama cut out pictures of houses for years, from Better Homes and Garden magazine. Plans were drawn, concrete poured, nail by nail, board by board. Daddy gave life to Mama's dream. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. Thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. You leave home and you move on and you do the best you can. I got lost in this whole world and forgot who I am. I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. I won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built. I thought if I could touch this place or feel I won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. I elected to keep that one a little simple. A noodle-free zone. Every now and then, you know, it's good. It's good. It's a nice palate cleanser. So yeah, we're the country fans. Anybody out there actually like that stuff? Yeah. Miranda Lambert. Again, if you have I don't know, if it's not necessarily common knowledge, I suppose. I know you all keep very close tabs on what I'm doing every day. But no, just kidding. But I do love song suggestions. So if you ever have stuff that you're just like, oh, this would be so cool to hear, I love getting that kind of email. So anytime you reach out to my mom and say, I just thought of a song, you can either pass it along to her or ask her for my email, and I'd be happy to hear from you to get more ideas and more inspiration. So that being said, full circle back around to the Edelweiss theme. I love this song too. Julie Andrews is like one of those people that it literally broke me. I feel like a little part of me broke when she stopped being able to sing. Like I couldn't imagine, and it's still difficult to like this world where there's not going to be another musical that she did. But I'm so grateful that she got to do so many great shows and got to share her gift with everybody. So honoring that, we're going to do the title theme. This one I don't even have to announce it because it says it like 16 times. So I think you might know this one. The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My song, my heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lakes to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from the church on the breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to fly. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more. With the sound of music, with songs that have sung for 1,000 years. There is the love with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every sound it hears. My heart wants to be like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from the church on the breeze, to the flutter when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to fly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Julie Andrews part.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Parts of it?
Once
Okay.
again, sometimes it's fun to just kind of, you just slip in something that's unexpected, like little tributes here and there. And Julie Andrews, her voice was like butter.
Must not sleep much at night with all those personalities communicating.
It's my turn to sing, not me. Well, I want a chance. Okay. Calm down. Now, Mother, I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Because you put down All of Me, and I'm not sure which one, because there's two songs called All of Me. There's a jazz standard, and then there's the What Would I Do Without Your Smart Mouth? All of you, that's all of me.
That one.
I got you.
I was thinking the Willie Nelson version.
Oh my, there's even more we could do. I should just do a long, like 15-minute medley of all the songs called All of Me. That'd be pretty great. Yeah, so this is a great one. John Legend, that's the guy who does this one. It was on the radio at one point, and I heard it and was like, that's cool. And then another student was like, I want to sing that. It was perfect opportunity to blend these two things together. For new ukulele players, this is not bad. It's 4 different chords, and you'll be excited to know them. What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Many times do I have to tell you, even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The world is beating you down, I'm around through every mood. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of you loves all of me. I love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me. You give me all of you. Yeah. Cards on the table with us showing hearts, risking it all, though it's hard, 'cause all of me loves all of you. I love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning, even when I lose I'm winning, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Good night. That's all I came here for. Just get out, leave. But oh, that's great! Yay! You've heard that one on the radio?
No,
No?
I
No?
don't think so.
Where have you heard
I have no idea.
Oh, right, because you said you don't really listen to the radio, right? Oh, Spotify.
Oh, on Spotify,
That's
probably.
I don't know.
You kids these days and your commercial ads. Oi! Wait, that's like all of YouTube for me now. Like every ad, I'm like, I can't even handle it. But at the same time, that's
With
just how it
Spotify
works.
Premium, you can get no more ads.
Do you get him? Do you get this man some premium stuff?
We really do have premium.
You could do the ad, Jay.
You can do Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar now, it is the bar.
He does listen to
Tonight's
it.
concert is brought to you by. You're pretty much the best. That was amazing. But it's true though. You hear the ad enough times in a row, you're like, I get it. I know how to do that one. I have a goal now that I'm going to. It dawned on me at a certain point that, advertising tends to be for something that people, like you want to sell something, right? But there's so many underrepresented foods in the world that don't get a commercial with a jingle. So I was like, well, who's gonna fix that? I know someone. So it's become my mission now to write jingles for various fruits and vegetables that are underrepresented. So my first one is, you can be blue with a blueberry, right? And I want to be like bathing in like a shower of blueberries. What do you think? Yeah. Just spinning. And
What about your tribute to the pig rescue?
I wish I had the chord progression. I kind of forgot how it goes, but yeah. It's a pig rescue. I started
Pig
following
rescue
on
in Texas.
Instagram. Just randomly one day scrolling, I was like, let's look at cute animals. And then there's this, I distinctly remember it's the first picture I ever liked from that organization, because it's just a big old pig. It like completely had rolled in dirt. Like not mud, like dry dirt. So like the whole thing just looked like a brown pig, but it's not because its little feet were pink, And I don't know, something about it, like my heart melted and I was like, I'm following this organization. And that's what they do. They like rescue and rehabilitate pigs. And I was like, that's a crazy thing to do. And they came like, the boy, right? The woman that runs it with her husband, she comes from Minnesota and then moved to Central Texas to do this pig rescue. And so I wrote them a jingle too. Central Texas, pig rescue. And it even ends with a and now it's my mission to like go out there and volunteer and then see if I can't sing for the pigs. I've seen some videos online of like people playing like instruments and cows will come from the field to come listen, and I was like, I wonder if they'd come listen for a singer. I don't know, maybe
For the pigs!
for the pigs, for you, my little friends. Right? They're so cute. I can't handle pigs are okay. Especially apparently when they're covered in dirt. There's something about it that's like, maybe that's my like kindred spirit. Maybe that's because I have a desire to roll now in dirt. I don't know. Maybe I stopped doing it when I was about your age. I was like, maybe I should not get my clothes dirty. I don't know. Do you roll in dirt?
Not regularly.
Not regularly. Sometimes. Doesn't want to admit how often, right? That's okay. It's okay. It's all right to admit these things. At first I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But I spent so many nights just thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. So now you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave the key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. Walk out like a rumble. Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. 'Cause I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give, and I survive. I will survive. Just saw that silly look upon your face, and it's a gonna strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend those pieces of my broken heart, but I spent so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. But I was strong, and I learned how to get along. And now you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. Oh, I wanted you, the one who tried to break me with goodbye. Did you think I could rumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I got all my life to live, and I got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Before you were born.
I've heard of it though. Gloria Gaynor, she's so great. I like had this little hidden like hope when I posted that on Instagram and tagged her that she would like watch it, but I'm pretty sure
But somebody somebody contacted you after you put a song.
Well, the cool one was when I posted a song from Popeye, like the 1980s Robin Williams and
gotta play that.
Shelley Duvall movie. Oh, it's so weird, and I love it. It's the weirdest movie I've seen in a long time, but I just completely, like, now it's like one of those cult following type movies where, like, if you haven't seen it, you're like, I've never even heard of it. But then when you've seen it, you're like, oh, yep, I know that one. I know that one, yep. Popeye. The only movie I know of where Robin Williams was talking so skibbity like Popeye, so thick that they had to go over and redub most of the film because you could not understand him. And I'm just dying for like, where did that cutting room floor, like that version, I want to hear that. Like I want to hear him say things and you can barely understand him with the overdub, so it's very funny. Anyway, a little trivia for you there. But yeah, so when I posted that song, one that Olive Oil sings, the organ, like there's like a whole like fan club of this composer, and they reached out to me. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great! Nobody ever covers his music." I'm like, I felt so
Someone from
good.
Manhattan Transfer.
Oh, and then there's a member from Manhattan Transfer that started following me on Instagram.
Really?
It's so great. Yeah, I grew up listening to them. I absolutely adore the Manhattan Transfer. The fact that any of them acknowledge my existence, I'm like, really? You like me? You really like me? No, that was pretty cool though. That was pretty cool. What else do I got for you? Oh, good. We get a nice, this seems like with the crickets chirping and a nice breeze, it feels like this is a really appropriate song. I don't know, for this setting. I love it. I don't know. You mentioned that you liked it. The first time I played it, you were like, oh, I love that song. And so I kind of kept it on rotation because it is a good one. She's like, where does it come from? Johnny Mercer wrote it. Does that help you? No? He was in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh, right. And then it was brought to life again. We have to, no matter what we feel about video games, I understand either way, but you have to respect that they featured it in a game that came out like 2 years ago. So it's keeping a jazz song alive. So for me, I was like, that's a win. That's a win. That's great. Moon such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows and waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River and me. Now, it's not like I'd never heard it previous, but like I said, I've heard it growing up a lot, and then I heard it in a game that I played and was like, what? And then I did this cool gig a couple of times. I did like 2 years, I think I went out to Grand Rapids, and they have like this showboat that's literally like a boat on the river that they like will come in on the boat in like full costumes. They got like the you know, like the big, I don't know, these like really big dresses, and like the men are all in these crazy suits, like really colorful, and they come riding in on the boat, and then they park it there and then do a show, like using the boat as a prop or coming down on this big stage. It was so cool. And I just remember it was about this time of day when the man got up and sang this song, and now I can never stop thinking about that man standing up there, because he did it as a tribute for his dad who had just passed earlier in the year. And like, there's something about it where he ended it with Moon River and me and my dad, and I was like, ah! Ooh, ooh. It just broke everything. It was so pretty. But I love that idea that that music does that to us, that it takes us somewhere else, or it reminds us of a time and place, and that's always a beautiful thing to me. I don't know. Anybody have any more questions? I mean, we were question heavy in the beginning, and when we were still just getting warmed up, but if anything comes up and you're curious about anything, I don't know, just let me know. How about a modern song? Oh my, can we handle this? Let me see if I have the year written on. Sometimes I'm good to my future self, which would now be current me. Current me is like, thanks past me. Didn't put a date on this one. I love knowing the dates of songs. It's interesting to me. But I know this is current, and I want to say it came out like either the beginning of the summer or last summer. It's a Taylor Swift song. So I've been told that even people that don't like Taylor Swift may enjoy this cover. So hopefully if you heard it and were like, didn't love the song, hopefully this will help. And if you love the way she did it, it's entirely possible you'll be like, never play that again. I don't like your little games, don't like your tilted stage, the role you made me play, the fool. No, I don't like you. I don't like your perfect crime, how you laugh when you lie. You said the gun was mine, it isn't cool. I don't like you, but I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time. I got a list of names and yours is red and line. I check it once and then I check it twice. Look what you made me do, look what you made me do, look what you just made me do, look what you just made me, oh, look what you made me do, look what you made me do, look what you just made me do, look what you just made me. I don't like your kingdom keys, they once belonged to me. Asked me for a place to sleep, locked me out and threw a feast. The world moves on another day, another drama, but not for me, not for me. All I think about is karma, and then the world moves on. But one thing's for sure, baby, I've got mine, but you all get yours. I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time. A list of names and you're underlined. Check it once and then I check it twice. Look what you made me do, look what you made me do, look what you just made me do. Look what you, oh, look what you made me do, look what you made me do, look what you just made me do, look what you just made me. slightly different. I remember I did that at the Children's Hospital, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't get feedback from the kids that make requests early in the day and then don't make it down to the show or don't call in. And that totally is fine. There's no wrong answer there either. But it's always interesting because I'm wondering sometimes when I do songs that different from the original, if they're like, that was not what I requested. Like that hopefully wasn't too far. Whenever life gets you down, Mrs. Brown, and things seem hard or tough, and people are stupid, obnoxious or daft, and you feel that you've had quite enough. Just remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour. That's orbiting at 19 miles a second, so it's reckoned a sun that is the source of all our power. The sun and you and me, now the stars that we can see, are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day in a broader spiral arm at 40,000 miles an hour of a galaxy we call the Milky Way. Now pay attention, there's a test on this. School doesn't start yet. Our galaxy itself contains 100 billion stars. It's 100,000 light years side to side. It bulges in the middle, 16,000 light years thick, but out by us it's just 3,000 light years wide. We're 30,000 light years from galactic central point. We go round every 200 million years, and our galaxy is only one of billions and billions in this amazing and expanding universe. The universe itself keeps on expanding and expanding in all of the directions it can whiz. As fast as it can go at the speed of light, 12 million miles a minute, and that's the fastest speed there is. So remember when you're feeling very small and insecure, how amazingly unlikely is your birth. And pray that there's intelligent life somewhere out in space, 'cause it's bugger all here, down on Earth.
All right.
That's another one I ran so many times I can't unremember those lyrics. There's so many words. So many numbers.
Too many numbers.
Yeah. But good, right? Little Monty Python there. I think that one is the meaning of life. And Eric Idle sings it. I'm pretty sure he wrote it too. And it's just such a, if you haven't seen Monty Python, it's just so nonsensical. I mean, anything that happens to me, you're like, why? And there is no answer because they could. But I love that moment because in the film, like, there's a woman with a salesman who's like trying to sell her, a refrigerator, and Eric Idle comes out of the refrigerator and sings that whole song and then goes back inside. There's no reason for it whatsoever. You're like, why? I think she buys it. To be fair, I would buy it if Eric Idle came out singing too. I'm like, sold. All right. This song, oh boy. So, what do we say? Yay or nay to like I said, this one generally leads into Popeye the Sailor Man. Is that kosher? I'll just Popeye the Sailor Man into it. All right. Well, if we go into it. So this is a super old piece. I couldn't even find like a legit date on it because I think it's just one of those songs that whoever wrote it was like, that's a good ditty, and then it passed around and nobody thought to write it down who it was, which is cool. But thanks for writing it, and thanks for letting us steal it. I heard it in Alice in Wonderland, and then for some reason, I remember when they did the old Popeye cartoons, like the old ones, that they would preface the theme song, with this. But it has lyrics, and they're really, really fast, friends. So I will do my best. a sailor's life is a life for me. How I love to sail on the bounding sea, and I never, never, ever do a thing about the weather, for the weather never ever does a thing for me. And I love the wind blowing as we leave that key. So we round the jimmy and we let the sails go free. 'Cause I always had a passion for a life above the ocean. So we're the motion of the rolling sea. I'm Papa the Sailor Man. I'm Papa the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Papa the Sailor Man. I'm one tough bazooka switch, hates all palooka, swat ain't on me up and squared. I'm fearsome and bossome and always I'll rough some, but none of them gets nowhere. If anyone dares is to risk me fisk, it's buff and it's wham, understand? So keep good behavior, that's your one lifesaver with Papa the Sailor Man. I'm Papa the Sailor Man, Papa the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Papa the Sailor Man. Lots of spinach.
More spinach.
He always had canned
Gotta
spinach
have
though.
salt though.
Yeah,
It's gotta have salt. Can't stand it without salt.
I guess if you're on sea though, like if you're on the sea, you probably,
good, right? Yeah.
yeah, probably as long as, I mean, anything to prevent scurvy, right? Like canned anything, it's fine. It's a vegetable, a fruit, anything, nutrition. But yeah, that's another one to keep in mind, Jay, because that's sea.
I couldn't understand half those fast words.
You started slow.
Takes practice.
Oh, a sailor's life is a life for me. How I love to sail on the bounding sea. That's how it started. And then you keep working it. Turns out muscle memory, it's a magical thing. You do something enough times, your body kind of just does it without you having to think about it much anymore, which is very convenient as a musician. You don't want to have to think too much. All right, let's stay on the fun track because this, right? Surprisingly, I love this, Mom. You actually picked 3 songs from The Sound of Music. Does anybody know what year The Sound of Music came out? Do you remember? Any guesses?
57?
Oh, you're so close. It's a little later.
59.
59. 1959. Which is
That would be my
crazy.
year.
I didn't even know until I looked it up that Edelweiss was written for that musical. Like, I thought it was like ye old song, but that means it was written around 1959. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was something else. Little do I know. All right, it's another awesome tribute to Julie Andrews. I will try to do this song justice. I absolutely love it, and I'm glad that you requested it. High on a hill was a lonely goat herd, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Loud was the voice of the lonely goat herd, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Folks in a town that was quite remote heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Lost steer clear from the goat herd's throat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Oh, lady, yodelay, oh, lady, yodelay. Oh, lady, yodelay, oh, lady, yodelay, yodelay. A prince on the bridge of a castle moat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Men on the road with a low tiptoed, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Men in the midst of a table d'ote, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Men drinking beer with the foam afloat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. One little girl in a pale pink coat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. She goes back to the lonely goat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Oh, lady, yodelay, oh, lady, yodelay. Oh, lady, yodelay, oh, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Soon have a ball with a gleaming road, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. What else do I for a girl like goat, heard, lady, yodelay, yodelay. Oh, lady, yodelay, yodelay. film to me too, just because it's so, like, again, one of those unpredictable, like, what are they doing? Everything that matters, that's what they're doing. So I'm really sad because I think Over the Rainbow is one of those ones that I forgot to make available offline. I know. It's like you don't have
How dare you?
you don't have internet, so you, how rude! But we could always jam with that later. You know, that could be one of the songs that we go over. Just like that. You'll be the soloist this time. You ready? Here we go. Okay, we won't do that. Oh, that's right. Okay. So, I'll do a few more here. This is interesting, and I hope I do this one justice for you because you asked for a song that I only made an a cappella arrangement for and put it online. And so I did my best to come up with that hybrid with the ukulele. So it's kind of a peculiar mashup. I guess they call them the kids call them these days. I'm pretty sure since Glee came out, that's when mashups became like the real it thing to do. How many songs can we cram into one? And they're great, and I love that concept. So when I was first starting my YouTube channel, that's what I primarily did for like the first 6 months to a year that I was on YouTube. Is I had my recorder, and at track 1, here's this line, track 2, next line, track 3, and I would just keep layering over the top until I had an a cappella arrangement of things. And it was really fun to do, very time consuming, but I was very proud of what I came up with, and some of them were very, like I said, kind of strange mashups, but I just like it, and I hope you do too.
And so across the times when I'm lying in bed just to get it out, what's in my head and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath, then I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And you can leave your hand. Yeah, you can leave your head on. You can leave your head on. If I try, oh my God, try all the time in this institution. And I pray, oh my God, do I pray every single day for a revolution. And you can leave your head on. You can leave your head on. You can leave your head, yeah, 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 yeah. I said, hey, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, hey, what's going on
Yeah. Interesting thoughts, feelings. Feedback is good on that one. It's interesting. Yeah. It's kind of different. So I'm already at the kind of the end of my list. So I'm going to end with a. Is that enough light for you to still see me? All right, then let's get this thing out of my
Where you
face.
at?
Let me get this thing out of my face. Well, thanks again. If my mom didn't amply get you set up, if you just like to make music in any way, if you brought an instrument, if you brought your voice, you might have left it at home, it's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, jam sessions are they're really open. There's no rule. There's no whatever. We'll just pick simple stuff and we'll just have a good time with it and see what happens. But making music is very therapeutic. It's one thing to come and listen to music, and that's very good. The other half of it is, even if you just hum along to something, how much that can really help It's a side of us. I mean, there's a whole musical therapy that happens out there now that is, it's so vital to people's healing. So I think that says something to us and should say something to the rest of us, even if you're feeling good and healthy, how much that can fill a cup you didn't even know needed to be filled. So thank you again for coming out and supporting this, and I hope it's been enjoyable. I'm going to give you one more kind of belty in your face sort of type of tune. I do that sometimes. Trying to get too carried away. Maybe I will. We'll see what happens. Nice to meet you where you've been. I could show you incredible things. Magic, madness, heaven, sin. Saw you there and I thought, oh my God, look at that face. You look like my next mistake. Love's a game I wanna play. Yeah, new money suit and tie. I can read you like a magazine. Ain't it funny how rumors fly? And I know you heard about me, so hey, let's be friends. I'm dying to see how this one ends. Grab your passport in my hand. I'm saying that the bad guy's good for a weekend, and it's gonna be forever, or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over, if the high was worth the pain. The list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane, but you know I love those players, and you love the game, 'cause they're young and we're reckless. We'll take it way too far, it'll leave you breathless. Oh, with a nasty scar. Got a long list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane, but I got a blank space, baby. I'll write your name. Cherry lips and crystal skies. I can show you incredible things. Those stolen kisses and pretty lies. You're the king, baby, I'm your queen. Find out what you want and be that girl for a month. But wait, the worst is yet to come. Oh no, screaming, crying, a perfect storm. I can make all the tables turn. Those rose gardens will turn to thorns. Keep you second guessing like, oh my God, who is she? 'Cause I get drunk on jealousy, but you'll come back each time you leave. You started on a nightmare, dressed like a daydream, and it's gonna be forever, or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over, if the high was worth the pain. I got a long list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane, but you know I love those players, and you love the hard game, 'cause we're young and we're reckless. We'll take it way too far, it'll leave you breathless. Oh, with a nasty scar. Got a long list of ex-lovers, they'll tell you I'm insane, but I got this blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. Boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't warn ya. Boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't warn ya. Forever, or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over, Thank you so much. And thank you, viewers. And now we have video proof that this happened.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Hashtag later.